Christmas is coming and today we're starting prep with some Christmas sides featuring this guy and this guy. Welcome to Pop Keto, where we aim to help you live a sustainable keto and low carb lifestyle. All right, let's get this out of the way. Click the subscribe button, like the video, and leave a comment underneath telling us what your favorite side dish for Christmas is. We'd love to hear from you. And today is about Christmas side dishes. Christmas, depending on how you count it, is about 3 or 4 weeks away, so not too long now. So we're gonna put together a few videos to sort of help you plan for your low carb Christmas. Today we are doing 2 side dishes. We are doing Brussels sprouts and we are doing a mash. Now on keto, you're probably thinking, but Sean, we can't have potato. What would you mash? Well, I told you in the opening what we're gonna mash, and it's cauliflower. So we're gonna jump into these 2 dishes today. Let's start with the cauliflower mash. This mash is really, really good. Our kids love it, I love it. And it's very similar to the mash that we used in the cottage pie recipe a little while ago. Here's a link to that. But they're beautiful and smooth and buttery and salty and yum. And it's relatively easy to do as well. So we're going to start with about 50 grams of butter. And we'll start that melting in here. Cool, I'll put that butter aside, but not too far because we'll need it again soon. Into this butter, we are going to crush garlic. And this is pretty much just to melt and flavor the butter that we're going to use in the mash. I have actually already turned the heat off here. Now the reason is I don't want the garlic browning. I just want it flavoring the butter that we're using. So that's a good melt. All right, we'll leave that there. Now I'm going to be putting stuff back and forth from the stove behind me today because I'm doing the 2 dishes. Just like on Christmas, there's going to be pots and pans flying everywhere. It's going to be fine. Okay, cauliflower is the next thing that we're getting onto here. Now I have already taken a whole cauliflower and broken it up into smaller florets, but I've also included the stalk. Because if you're mashing it up anyway, why not have it in there? So that's 1 whole good sized cauliflower, and I'm putting it into a steamer here. Now, if you don't have a steamer, you could boil it. Now, we don't want to take these too far when we're doing it. We just want, so I've got a skewer here, and we just want it to be soft enough for it to go through without resistance. With that nice and boiling now, whew, hope that camera's okay. We're going to put that on there. Now that should probably take around 15 minutes, but we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah. Everything is steamed up in here massively. Okay, so 11 minutes was a good time for the cauliflower. Obviously, if you've cut it into bigger chunks, it might take a little longer, smaller chunks, a little shorter, around that 10-15 minute mark. All right, I am going to pop these now into a container with a flat bottom, which is going to help for our next step. Some of these used dishes behind me. Oh, I should have shown you. Look at that, just goes straight through. Okay, now to this, we are adding our garlicky butter and we're just pouring that all straight in. I know we didn't cook that long, but what that's gonna do is just get rid of some of the rawness of the garlic and spread the flavor through the butter. And I can smell it and it's awesome. Then we've got to salt it. Now I'm putting in the equivalent of 2 3-finger pinches. A 3-finger pinch for me is about 3 to 4 grams. So this is about 8 to 10 grams of salt. And I'm using pink Himalayan salt. And then we just hit this with a hand mixer. Great, and you can see how smooth that is, and that is lovely. I'm gonna keep that in there for now and we'll plate it up soon to share at the table. So onto the Brussels sprouts. What we have here is about 400 grams of Brussels sprouts that I've just chopped up and cut in half. Now, if you are doing this on Christmas Day, unless you're a better person than me, just buy the trimmed one. It's not worth all the fussing around to get it done on top of everything else that you're going to do. Just buy the trimmed Brussels sprouts. Just do it. Okay, so we have more water. I have a big pot of water here. We're gonna blanch these Brussels sprouts for literally a minute. So I'm just bringing this water up to the boil. All right, we're up to the boil. Now, when we put these in, it's gonna cool the water down a little bit, but that's okay. And like I said, 1 minute. Now it might not seem long, but that 1 minute is going to be enough to start the cooking process going with these so that when we do cook them again later, they're not going to be raw. Also, the green of them is actually coming up really vibrant. Boom, that is our 1 minute. Cool, I'm going to need this pan for the next part of the cook as well. So let me just drain this. Okay, into this pan, I am now going to put 4 pieces of bacon. Well, I say 4, but I had 5 pieces of bacon left. So I'm going to have 5 pieces of bacon in this one today. We prefer to use a nitrite-free bacon. If you're in the UK, we can get it mainly from Sainsbury's and Morrison's. In our Aldi shopping haul video, we talked about Aldi's version of it, but they no longer stock it in the UK. So I've just cut this bacon in half long ways down the middle, and then I'm cutting it into slices about 1 centimetre wide. Cool, we'll get that going, and next we are going to chop up a leek. Now leeks are lovely. Leeks are a really good option to replace onion as well. Just going to get rid of some of these harder outer leaves. Give this bacon a stir. We want to see if we can get the bacon to render some of that fat out. All right, back to the leek. I'm going to keep this pretty simple. Cut it down the center, long ways, with the 2 halves. Then we're just going to chop it into, say, 1/2 centimetre slices. Cool, all right, that bacon's starting to brown, so I'm going to add in the leek. I think this could use a little more fat to be doing its thing, so I'm going to chuck in some butter. It's probably going to be about 1 tablespoon of butter. Now, butter and leek are amazing together, and hopefully it'll also give some good heat conduct to maybe get a little more of the fat rendering from the bacon. So now we're going to let that cook until we see the leek soften. If I was cooking on the gas stove, I probably would have tried to brown the bacon a little more. I just have a little bit of trouble controlling this, but we don't want to see the leeks getting browned off too badly. So I'm going to say we're ready for the next step, which is putting our Brussels sprouts back in. I'll give that a good stir. I'm going to put about another tablespoon of butter in there as well. What we want to do is flavour the butter with the bacon and the leek. And because we've cut the Brussels sprouts in half, there's all these little gaps where the butter and flavour can seep into. It's going to be yum. Now this doesn't need to cook for too long either. You don't want to overcook the Brussels sprouts. That's the reason you may not like Brussels sprouts. If you don't like Brussels sprouts, and there's lots of people who do, it's probably because you've been served overcooked Brussels sprouts before. I'm pretty sure that was my problem, but now we love Brussels sprouts and even the kids do. All right, we're gonna add some fresh cracked pepper. Probably gonna work out to be an 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of that. Smells amazing. Give that a stir through. Now, here's where the controversy starts in our house. If Lisa was cooking this, she would add nutmeg, which is actually a really good addition to it. A lot of people like it. I don't. So I don't add it in there. But yeah, if you were gonna add nutmeg, now would be the time. Cool, we're about ready to put these on plates. Do some of the cauliflower mash, which you're using to replace potato at the Christmas dinner. And then some of the Brussels sprouts as well. Okay, so there you have it. 2 super delicious. Let me come up here. Oh, I just thought I'd sneak up here to show you a bit closer. Look at that. Brussels sprouts, and look at that beautiful silky mash, yum. And of course the taste test. I'm gonna take it from here so I don't disrupt that. Nice and bacony. Maybe you could use a little more salt. You get that little bit of pepper in there. The bacon is fantastic. The sprouts are not overcooked, which is just how we wanted them. Any day of the week, I would have that. And then the mash, silky, smooth, tasty. That little bit of garlic in there, wow, yum. Serving these up with your Christmas dinner, it's going to be amazing. So hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you guys give this a try. Good thing about these, both dishes full of cruciferous vegetables, the cauliflower and the Brussels sprouts. So good for you. Lots of vitamins and minerals. And you don't have to save these for Christmas. You could have these anytime. So I want to say a big thank you for watching. If you've come this far, tip of the hat to you. We've got some really cool Christmassy type videos coming up in the next couple of weeks. Have a great week. Stay happy, stay healthy, and we will see you next video. See you everyone.